Hello students, let us now study the time specifications related to the second order system. So as you see in the curve where you can see all the time specifications which is mentioned in the curve, okay, which can be a delay time or rise time or TP, where C of t is the response of the system, and you can see a sinusoidal variation that you get for a second order system, where at the end you see the steady state error is been obtained with some certain tolerance. Okay, so therefore we are now ready to define the time specifications that we come across in the second order system response. TD is a delay time, TR is the rise time, TP is the peak time, TS is the settling time, whereas MP is the maximum peak overshoot. Okay, so now we'll see one by one, we'll see the definition of all these time specifications. So let us go with first delay time, which is denoted by the word TD. Okay, so the delay time TD, which is the time required for the response to reach 50% of the final value in the first attempt. Okay, so the delay time TD is the time required for the response to reach 50% of the final value in the first attempt. If you see the curve here, 50% is where the output that is been reached. So 50% of the output when it is going, so 50% of that from 0% is what we normally define as delay time. Okay, so 100% is what the output that we need to get, whereas when we reach to the 50% of the final value, we say that it is a delay time, and it is denoted by TD equals 1 plus 0.7 into zeta divided by omega n. Okay, so this is the TD delay time that we have. So normally we don't go for derivation of delay time. Okay, so this is the formula which we use to find out the delay time. Next we will go with rise time. Let us see what is rise time denoted by TR. So what is rise time? So the rise time is the time required for the response to reach from 0% to from 10% to 90% for an 10% to 90% for an final value, okay, which reaches of the final value for an over damped systems, for an over damped system. So the same way we can also say the time required for the response to rise from 0 to 100% of the final value for underdamped system, for an underdamped systems. So this is what the rise time that we normally see in time specifications. Okay, this is what the rise time what we see in the time specifications. So if you see in the curve, the TR, whatever you can see, the mark of TR, whatever you see, it is for 10% to 90%. Anyway, it has been shown for over damped condition, but for an under damped, it starts from 0 and ends at 100%. Okay, so that is what we can see in the curve for TR. Okay, for TR, that is the 100% where we normally reach. Next we will go for the next time, whatever we define, So let us see that, where after rise time we do have the next time definition that we see. Before that, let us write the equation for the rise time. Okay, equation for the rise time, how we wrote for delay time, where TR is equal to pi minus theta by omega d. Okay, TR is equal to pi minus theta by omega d, and we measure all the time in seconds, so we write it seconds, where theta is being calculated in radians. See through that, the theta will be calculated in radians. Okay, I hope you got it. What is the rise time? I hope you got it, whatever the definition that we have written. Now next we will go for the next time specification that we have, which is peak time, which is denoted by TP, Now let us see what is the definition of the peak time. Let us see the definition of the peak time. This is the time required for the response. It's the time required for the response. It is the time required for the response to reach its peak value, which is related to the maximum peak overshoot that we see, whatever the peak value that we get, which is related to the maximum peak overshoot in the curve that we see there. So it is also defined as the time required for. It is also defined as the time required or taken by the response to undergo the first overshoot. Okay, it is also defined as the time taken by the response to undergo the first overshoot. Okay, that is the peak time. If you see in the curve now, if you observe in the curve about the peak time, whatever you have, you see that is the peak overshoot in the curve, the sinusoidal. That would be the first peak always, because the other sinusoidal peaks that you see in the curve will always be minimum than the first peak. So the time taken to reach to that peak is what TP is. Okay, so that TP whatever we have would be the maximum peak or the peak overshoot, maximum overshoot or peak overshoot, what we call it as. Okay, which would be measured from the 100% output line, which you can see in the curve. Okay, so here the formula for peak time TP would be given as pi by omega d, which can also be written as pi divided by omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square. This is the formula which we use to find out what is the peak time. Okay, what is the peak time in seconds. Fine. Now we'll go for the next definition, which is peak overshoot. So what is peak overshoot? If you see, which is MP, what is the peak overshoot? The peak overshoot here is, it is the first or it is the largest error, okay, between reference input and output. Okay, it is the largest error between the reference input and output during the transient response or transient period. Okay, so it is the largest error between the reference. If you see in the the curve, as it is a maximum peak overshoot, so that is the difference that you see from 100% line. Okay, that is the difference that we see from 100% line, and that difference is actually the maximum peak overshoot. Okay, so we measure it from above the 100% line. The curve what you get would be an error actually, because we need to reach the output for 100%, but whatever the curve that is been extended after 100% is an error that we see in the time response of the second order system. Okay, so that would be an error in the time response of the second order system. Okay, so therefore we need to know how to calculate the maximum peak overshoot, which would be an error that we get in the curve of the second order system, where you see other peaks also here, which would not be maximum, because the other peaks that we get in a sinusoidal variation will always be minimum compared to a maximum peak overshoot. So the first overshoot whatever we get will always be a maximum peak overshoot. Okay, maximum peak overshoot. Now the maximum peak overshoot is what we have seen, and that is given by MP equals the response C of t at time t equals Tp minus 1. It is minus 1. The reason is we try to find out the response C of t, where you see a first peak overshoot is obtained, and the difference between the 100% line, which is normally equal to 1, the difference between the maximum peak overshoot. Okay, so that is what C of t, which has been obtained at t equals Tp, and this line whatever it has been written is the time taken to reach 100%, and that would be the time taken to reach the maximum peak overshoot. So that difference, if you want to find out the total time minus the time taken to reach 100%, you are going to subtract it. Okay, so therefore that is what C of t, that response at t equals Tp minus 1 will be the maximum peak overshoot that we get. Okay, so the maximum peak overshoot that we get. Let us define what is settling time Ts. Okay, so here this is the time required for the response to decrease and stay within the specified percentage of its final value. Okay, this is the time required for the response. So this is the time required for the response to decrease and stay within the specified percentage of its final value. It means within the tolerance band. So let me write the curve and tell you. So this is the curve, and this is the unit step response, whatever we have seen. Now this is the tolerance that we have. So here this would be the tolerance that we get. So normally we take 2% tolerance. 2% tolerance. Okay, so where this tolerance is what the specified percentage of its final value. So final value will not be equal to the desired value. It will always be a gap. I hope we have seen the steady state error. That is what I am saying here. Okay, so to calculate that settling time, so settling time would be from here to this gap, whatever the settling time is this. So that is Ts. So the Ts is actually 4 times the time constant. 4 times the time constant. Now what is time constant? Time constant here in the second order system would be 1 over zeta omega n. We all know that 1 over omega n would be equal to t. A reciprocal of the natural frequency would be the time. But here zeta is also a factor where the time is being defined. So therefore 1 over zeta omega n is what the time constant. Therefore Ts would be equal to 4 into this time constant, which is 4 divided by zeta omega n. This is the settling time definition and the equation used for settling time. Okay, I hope you understood. So you have understood all the definitions of all the different time specifications which we have seen. Now what we do is we will try to derive the equations for all these time specifications which we have defined. Let us derive the time specification equations. So let us see what is Tr, what is Tp, what is Ts, and what is the MP equations that we normally derive. Now let us derive this. Now this is the curve that we need to write in the beginning of all the derivations. You should see through that you write this curve to define the time, where Tr would be the rise time, Tp is the peak time, Ts is the settling time, I hope the definition of all this time I have already told you earlier. Now fastly we will get into the derivation of, so let us see the derivation of the peak time Tp, the peak time Tp. Okay, let us now look into the derivation of the peak time Tp. Now when do we say the time Tp is been obtained? Now the time Tp definition you have seen earlier, the Tp is obtained when you have the maximum peak of the response C of t, right? When you have a maximum response or peak value of C of t. Okay, so therefore you are going to find out the maximum value of C of t. For that we try to use a maximum value theorem in mathematics, where we differentiate the term for which the maximum value that we are going to find out in terms of time parameter dt, and we equate to 0. We equate to 0. So for all the derivations we will try to use the second order system response equation, where C of t equals 1 minus e power minus zeta omega nt, whole thing divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega dt plus theta, into sine of omega dt plus theta. So this is the second order response equation that we have derived earlier. So therefore we will try to use that equation to be used for derivation here. Now we differentiate the C of t in terms of t, that is what we do now. So therefore d by dt of 1 minus e power minus zeta omega nt divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine omega dt plus theta equals 0. So we differentiate this with respect to time t. So differentiation of 1 is 0 minus 1 over square root of 1 minus zeta square is constant, which comes outside. So d by dt of e power minus zeta omega nt multiplied by sine of omega dt plus theta. Okay, so which is again equal to 0. Now we will try to use differentiation by parts whatever we have. Okay, so which is equal to minus 1 over square root of 1 minus zeta square into, so if you differentiate this equation d by dt of this one, so you will say that it is minus of e power minus zeta omega nt multiplied by minus zeta omega n into sine omega dt plus theta added with e power minus zeta omega nt into differentiation of sine is cos omega dt plus theta into omega d, which is equal to 0. So therefore this root of 1 minus zeta square gets multiplied by 0, therefore you get 0, and this negative, if I try to put it inside, see what we will get. So this would be e power minus zeta omega nt. So I think, sorry, this negative, this is actually positive because you are differentiating e power minus zeta omega nt. So you don't get negative here. Now you would see that minus e power minus zeta omega nt into, so this minus, when it gets multiplied with this minus, this becomes plus. So therefore e power minus zeta omega nt into zeta omega n into sine omega dt plus theta minus e power minus zeta omega nt into cos omega dt plus theta into omega d equals 0. Now you take e power minus zeta omega nt common here. So I will be getting zeta omega n into sine omega dt plus theta minus omega d, I will write it as omega n square root of 1 minus zeta square cos of omega dt plus theta. which is equal to 0. Now as e power minus zeta omega nt is not equal to 0, as e power minus zeta omega nt is not equal to 0, therefore zeta omega n into sin omega dt plus theta minus omega n square root of 1 minus zeta square into cos omega dt plus theta equals 0. Now again this omega n can be removed. In both the equation we have omega n, so omega n also be removed. So therefore I'll just erase omega n here. I'll just erase omega n. So this would be the equation which will be equal to 0, which will be equal to 0. And we know that zeta is cos theta, or else what I'll do is I'll not replace zeta now. I'll say zeta into sin omega dt plus theta equals root of 1 minus zeta square into cos of omega dt plus theta. Now sin by cos can be written as tan of omega dt plus theta equals square root of 1 minus zeta square by zeta. I think in the second order system response, when we were deriving, we know that this root of 1 minus zeta square by zeta is tan theta. Therefore tan of omega dt plus theta equals tan theta. Therefore we know that in mathematics tan of n pi plus theta equals tan theta, right? Therefore if you compare this with this equation, you see that omega dt, now this t is what? It is the peak time, because you differentiated to find out the maximum value of c of t. Therefore this time t would be Tp now, which is equal to n pi. Therefore Tp would be equal to n pi by omega d, or Tp is also equal to n pi by omega n square root of 1 minus zeta square, because we know omega d is defined with omega n square root of 1 minus zeta. So this is the derivation of Tp. I hope you got it. Got the derivation of Tp. Now we'll go to the next derivation of so what else we have? We have peak time, which we have defined. Now we'll go on deriving the MP. So as we have derived Tp, so we'll also derive for MP. Derivation of maximum peak overshoot. Derivation of maximum peak overshoot. We know that the maximum peak overshoot equals C of t at time t equals Tp minus 1, right? Minus 1. Therefore you need to take the C of t at time equals Tp, so which is equal to, we know that it is 1 minus e power minus zeta omega nt is Tp now, divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega d Tp plus theta, and this is minus 1. So this one and this one gets cancelled, so therefore you will be left out with MP equals, normally we calculate MP in percentage, so I'll say percentage MP equals minus e power minus zeta omega n into Tp is n pi by omega d sine of omega d into n pi by omega d plus theta. Now omega d gets cancelled here, so we are left out with minus e power minus zeta omega n into n pi divided by omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square, which is omega d, into sine of n pi by n pi plus theta. So here the sine of n pi plus theta would be equal to sine of n pi by theta would be equal to, if you see in the mathematics, that would be equal to minus sine theta, right? Minus sine theta. I forgot to write one more term here. This is whole thing divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. This is whole thing divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. I think that is there here, see. So therefore, I would say percentage of MP equals this minus and this minus becomes plus, therefore e power minus zeta, so this omega n and omega n gets cancelled, n pi by square root of 1 minus zeta square, whole thing divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sin theta. Now what is square root of 1 minus zeta square? While deriving the response that we have seen, it is equal to sin theta, right? So I will substitute square root of 1 minus zeta square as sin theta. Therefore percentage MP equals e power minus zeta n pi by square root of 1 minus zeta square divided by sin theta into sin theta. So therefore this both gets cancelled. Therefore finally the percentage of MP would be equal to e power minus zeta n pi divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square. So this would be the equation for maximum peak overshoot that we find. Okay, so we have derived for TP, we have derived for MP. Now the next derivation is for rise time. So let us look into rise time, denoted by TR. So sometimes I write capital or small, it is one and the same, so it is rise time. Okay, keep that in mind. So how to find out the rise time now? So the rise time definition is what? The output reaching from 0 degree to 100 degree for under damped condition, right? 0 degree to 100 degree. It means that C of t to be equal to 1, right? So if I write the curve and show you, so this is 1, so this is peak and it becomes 1. So here the rise time is from 0 degree till it becomes 1. So therefore that is what the TR is. So therefore as it becomes from 0% to 100%, so when it reaches to 100%, it means that it is C of t equals 1. Therefore at t equals TR, C of t equals 1. Therefore 1 equals, okay, 1 equals, so I'll write the equation of C of t first of all. So C of t equals 1 minus e power minus zeta omega nt divided by square root of 1 minus, divided by, it comes in the denominator, divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega dt plus theta, which is equal to, as C of t equals 1, C of t equals 1 at t time t equals TR, therefore 1 is equal to 1 minus e power minus zeta omega n TR divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega d TR plus theta. Okay, so this is what. So therefore if you take this one to the left hand side, you see that 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore I'll say 0 equals, or I'll say minus e power minus zeta omega n TR divided by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine of omega d TR plus theta equals 0. Now again this root of 1 minus zeta square gets multiplied by 0. Therefore you will be getting, finally you will see that sine of omega d TR plus theta would be equal to 0. As e power minus zeta omega n TR is not equal to 0, therefore sine omega n TR plus theta would be equal to 0. So now finally what we get, omega d TR plus theta equals sine inverse of 0. So sine inverse of 0 would be equal to, in mathematics, n pi, where sine n pi is actually equal to 0. So therefore I will substitute that n pi here. So I'll get omega d tr plus theta equals n pi. Therefore, omega d tr equals n pi minus theta. Therefore, tr is equal to n pi minus theta divided by omega d. Omega d. So this is the derivation for the rise time tr in terms of second order system. Okay. So we have done for rise time. Now the last time which we want to derive is the settling time. Okay. Settling time is no derivation at all. I have already said that in the definition itself. Settling time will always be equal to Ts equal to 4 by zeta omega n at 2% tolerance. At 2% tolerance. You also have Ts to be equal to 3 divided by zeta omega n at 5% tolerance. Okay, keep this in mind. So you have two tolerance, one is at 2% and another one is at 5%, where 4 by zeta omega n, 3 by zeta omega n. Fine. So I hope all the derivations are clear to you, all the definitions of time specifications are clear to you in this video which you have seen now. Okay.